President Trump's crypto czar David Sachs, along with House and Senate financial leaders, have announced the formation of a bicameral working group that will focus on advancing crypto legislation. Joining us now, House Financial Services Committee Chairman French Hill. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. So there's been a lot of hyperbole and questions around what exactly DOGE is doing, what power they have, what authority they have, whether they're actually cutting off funding or whether they just say they're cutting off funding. What is your take right now on what DOGE is doing and what authority they have or should have?
Well, I think Elon Musk and DOGE are looking for government efficiency in all the cabinet agencies and across the government. This is at the direction of President Trump. I think it's a good idea, as I've said many times before. After years and years of building up government and government spending, it deserves to have a good, fresh, outside look. With that said, anything that reflects something that would take statutory approval, of course, Congress has to be involved in. But we expect DOGE to give good recommendations to the Congress on things that require statutory work. And if things can be done by executive action as opposed to how they determine what contractors are in the agency or whether they need buildings or leases or have a way to upgrade their IT system, I think that's perfectly appropriate for the executive branch to do internally.
Yeah, you mentioned that he's there to suggest things, but he tweeted, or X'd, I guess, on Monday. He said, "We spent the weekend feeding USAID into the wood chipper." And he's taking polls on X saying, should we go after the IRS next? It does seem at least he's giving himself credit for actually stopping funding for these programs.
Well, we've got some big personalities out there working on DOGE, and certainly, but look, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, former chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, someone who's a skilled foreign relations person, understands that AID needs a strong look. As President Reagan warned us many, many years ago, there's nothing closer to eternal life than a temporary government program. And USAID was created by executive order back in the 1960s. And it's now 10,000 employees and an enormous scope. And I think President Trump and Marco Rubio are saying, let's see exactly what it does, how it exactly spends money. Is it in the interest of the United States? The contracting basis, the work it does, is it really out saving lives and providing badly needed services? And we know that they are. And our chairman, Brian Mast of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, is on that job too. So I believe that while Mr. Musk can take credit for that, you still have Secretary Rubio, as to whom the USAID organization reports, and he's responsible for the reform and any direction that it needs to be, whatever direction needs to be taken, and what changes need to be reported to Congress if we need statutory changes.
Chairman Hill, just to go back to USAID, because we've had a few people talk about this morning, how it was created by executive order. It was by Kennedy back in the 1960s, but the liberal bastion that is the Wall Street Journal editorial page has said that this is Congress's domain and Congress's only, pointing back that in 1998, Congress enacted a law establishing it as a distinct entity. How do you read that? Because this is going to be played out through the courts, I would imagine.
Well, I think it's technically reports to the International Assistance Organization inside state. Mm-hmm. And it's been suggested that it report directly to Secretary Rubio now, which I think is still within the state jurisdiction. And if they want to change spending or direction in spending, and some of that was done by appropriations, then they'll come and make those recommendations in this appropriations bill about how they want to change those priorities. If they have discretion on how those grants are awarded to contractees in different areas under a broad direction by Congress, then that's an area where I think Marco Rubio could take a decision that we're going to continue this kind of spending and discontinue this other approach. And that's all within the confines of how that agency operates.
And going back to crypto, Chairman Hill, what legislation or what regulation do you think is needed right now? I mean, if you look at the crypto markets, Bitcoin is soaring. The overall market cap of crypto right now is over $3 trillion. There are something like 172,000 crypto millionaires in the world. There isn't any evidence, at least clear evidence, that the crypto market has been choked off by excessive regulation in the U.S. You look at the Bitcoin ETF market, that's flourishing. So what exactly would regulation do that currently investors in crypto can't do?
Well, I mean, what you say there is just, not true. The reason we have an exchange-traded product in Bitcoin, for example, is because people went to federal court to compel the SEC to do it because their arguments in court blocking it for years were incorrect. And so we have the courts to thank for Gary Gensler's bad regulation by enforcement.
Yeah, but he's gone now. So he's gone now.
Yeah, he's gone. Sure. Okay, well, look, he's gone. That's true. But that doesn't change the fact that crypto has been under assault by the SEC over the past 4 years. And so the reason for legislation is to have a regulatory clarity that directs the SEC and the CFTC exactly what they need to do to protect investors, encourage innovation, encourage companies to use blockchain. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to pass regulatory clarity. And I was so pleased yesterday that David Sachs, representing President Trump, my friend Tim Scott, chairman of the Banking Committee, G.T. Thompson, chairman of the House Ag Committee, and John Bozeman, chairman of the Senate Ag Committee, we all came together yesterday to talk about our priorities to move regulatory clarity for digital assets in the U.S. so that we can have fintech and digital assets be a premier area of innovation and technological advance right here in the U.S. instead of what Gary Gensler left us with was people moving out of the United States, moving offices to London, to the EU, to the Middle East to work on blockchain programs. That's not the right way to operate, and regulation by enforcement is a bad way to go. We should ask that they use an open process through the Federal Register to propose new rules, which Gary Gensler did not do, and to work with Congress to make sure that we have clarity for innovators up and down the capital formation arena.